everyone. It has been a long time. The last video I made was my bulbs planting in the middle of October, and that was for my spring bulbs. And then I did a video on a lightweight hose that I have used all summer. I have been down with the creeping crud for 2 weeks now. My voice is just starting to come back, but in my ears it sounds like I'm still underwater. So I did film a couple of things at the beginning of the year, and I'll put them in little groups. I picked up what else did I pick up? I picked up some pumps for my hydroponics on clearance, and I'll show you those in another video. Home Depot had cleared out a bunch of their waterfalls, believe it or not. So the waterfalls I think were $160. It came with a 2-tiered waterfall and then pond pump and everything. I got it for 30 bucks. And so I was really excited about that because for $30 for just the pump is phenomenal. I always need backup pumps. I've usually burn out one every year. Anyway, so my seeds came in. I was sick, and I managed to get my seed order in, and they came in. And this year we're doing a little bit different. I wanted to grow some cabbage this year because there's been so many recalls in the United States on the lettuces and things that I just really feel that I need to grow more greens during the summer. So I'm going to change a few of my beds over to just continually growing greens all summer long, because there is one bed that gets a little bit more shade at the middle of summer. It gets shaded out by where I had my strawberries last year. So that's the lettuce bed for this year, and that should keep the heat of the summer off that bed, and the lettuce should do just fine in semi-shade. It gets sun in the morning, and it'll get sun late in the afternoon, but it won't get that 12 o'clock hot sun that burns everything. So I found a couple of, because my beds are small, they're just small raised beds. There goes my washer, always doing laundry. Sing the song. Anyway, so what I got was Baker Creek heirloom seeds. It's rareseeds.com, I believe it is. They had a small cone cabbage. Now the place that this year I want to grow some of these. These are only 2 pounds. That's a tiny little cabbage. So I want to do these, and then I found some early Jersey Wakefield. It's another type of a cone cabbage, and this is another little 2-pound cabbage from the 1840s. These are heirloom 1840 seeds. And then I got my Cory Blue. Now these tomatoes, this is the first time that I bought this type of tomato from Rare Seeds. I usually get them from Territorial, but since I saved some of mine, and since I wanted some backup seeds, and I wasn't going to order from Territorial this year because I didn't need anything because I saved my own seeds, I thought, well, I'll buy a package here. But these look completely different than the ones I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant a couple of my seeds and then a couple of these seeds, mark them, and see what these actually turn out, if they're a Cory Blue that's a little bit different possibly. Baker also had some mini bell, and these are tiny because I want to do a patio tomato for my mom. And she doesn't have internet, so she can't see what I'm doing for her online. So anyhow, so these are just teeny tiny, and I thought they would be a fun tomato to put on the in a pot. Now this is a micro tom. If you look at how small that tomato is, that's another teeny tiny tomato. And this one is one of the world's smallest varieties. I thought this would be fun just to have and test. Now I don't like raw tomatoes. I grow a lot of tomatoes, but I can't just grab them and pop them in my mouth. I don't like the texture of them, but I do love sun-dried and salsa and tomato salad and all that stuff, but just grabbing a tomato without the onions and the peppers and the garlic and stuff, can't do it. But then I also got some Mexican sour gherkins. These are cucumbers. These were a lot of fun. Last year we got some seeds as the group of us, and all of us grew them, and they vine up, and they're just little itty bitty. They're really good. Baker also sent me a free gift of seeds, and this is cinnamon basil. So this will be going out in my herb garden. Then let's see here, what else did I go? Then I found I got a new book, and it was totally tomatoes. And I thought, well, you know something, I'm going to look and see what they have for tomato seeds, because I'm going to do a little bit different in my greenhouse this year. Last year we had so much fun with the cherry tomatoes that I'm not going to grow the bigger tomatoes. I am going to grow the Cordy Blue. I'm going to grow 1 row of those, which is 10, I think it's 10 plants, 2 in each bucket. And that'll be plenty for me to can and can this year. Last year I didn't get them canned, but thank goodness Donna, my friend, she adopted all my extra tomatoes and she took care of them. So thank you, Donna. Anyway, so the trial pack that Totally Tomato gave us, they gave us a Pickler's Pride mix on cucumbers. So I'm going to throw them out in my garden. And they also gave me a big, I don't know, see where it is here. Oh, here it is. A lime green tomato. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one right now. This is a 58-day from transplant and 2.5 to 3 ounce fruits. Now, this is not a cherry tomato, it doesn't look like. It looks like it's more of a sandwich tomato. So these might be the tomatoes that I decide to put out in my garden. So those are, you know, might be what's going out in my garden. So anyhow, for some reason I forgot, this is being sick, I bought a micro tom from Totally Tomatoes too, so I have extra micro toms. My sweet peppers, I bought the little itty bitty bell peppers, the teeny tiny ones this year. I'm not gonna run 15 plants like I did last year. Last year I had an epic failure with my peppers. The peppers had a problem last year. They didn't have a problem the year before, but last year they really had a problem and the bugs just attacked them. I don't know how, and they only attacked the peppers. They did not attack the tomatoes. The tomatoes were fine. So I don't know what got in the greenhouse on that back wall, and I don't know what caused, it's like they just could never get going. I don't know what happened last year. They just struggled. So I'm going to grow a smaller version that is supposedly, let's see here, it's a 60-day pepper. 60 days. So that should help because it's a shorter amount of time for them to actually start producing peppers, and that will probably help in our weird climate that we have here lately. So I did buy some chocolate cherry, some Gardener's Delight. I did save the seeds from these, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to plant half of the ones that I have from the store-bought seeds, and then I'm going to plant half the ones that I saved myself, and then we're going to keep them marked on the plants so I can see if the tomatoes had cross-pollinated with anything in my greenhouse, because I did grow 5-6 different varieties of tomatoes in my greenhouse, but I kept the seeds from the tomatoes that were way up on top, not the tomatoes that are down on the bottom. So we'll see how that worked. So I got chocolate cherry, the Gardener's Delight, the yellow pear, which I did save seeds. I have to find them. That's the only seeds that I lost that I saved, but they could be on my desk and I just missed them this morning. So I have yellow pear. Then I found red pear, which I hadn't had before, and this is another indeterminate salad. Found Flaming Burst, which is an orange golden pear-shaped tomato, so I thought that'd be good in a salad tomatoes, and then a sugar lump. So this year I have 6 salad tomatoes to make the Mediterranean salads that I made last year with the cucumber, and then only the one big tomato, the Cordy Blue, that I'm going to keep this year, and then I have a bunch of cucumbers that we're going to plant. Now Burpee, right before the end of the year, had seeds, and these seeds needed to be sold by 11/18, which will be fine. They're only going to be 4 months out for me to plant them, but I bought some. God, they were just, I think they were $1 a pack. They were really, really cheap. So I got some Swiss chard, some spinach, pak choi, another red pear, some California Wonder, butter crunch lettuce, kale, and it's just a mix mash of a whole bunch of different lettuces and summer squashes and some more red stem Malabar spinach. This was really, really, really good. And some onions. So some of these things that I'm going to need to start here in the next week. Excuse me. This is the first time I've talked this much. But the real cool thing that I finally found was, dun, 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 let me say where you guys, Sundial Seed Company. I got my tree collards. So these are tree collards, and I have looked all over for tree collards. I tried finding them last year, couldn't find them last year. I think they were sold out, that was the problem. But I caught them in enough time this year. So these came the night before last. Our mail was really late, and they came on the 16th. Today's the 18th. Alrighty. So I have my 3 pots here, and the directions do say that they need to be up 1 inch off the bottom. So let's see here. All potted up. I'm going to get these soaked, get them drained off, and then get them out into my sewing room. Thanks for joining me. This is how I planted my collards. I'm so excited. Can you tell I'm excited? Yes. So this is another part of my perennial bed. This year I am trying to do 90, probably at least 90-95% of my seeds are heirloom seeds. I'm trying to get to the point where I can save some of my old seeds, but then find the heirloom seeds of the same name and bring them in also, just to make sure that nothing has gotten cross-pollinated. I have some table dainty squash. It's a summer squash. It's a zucchini or a marrow. That is, I did find the seeds. Oh shoot, I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to tell you when they get here, because I ordered them while I was sick, but they do it by way of you order, send your money order or check in, and then it comes back. I don't know how long it's gonna, excuse me, how long it's gonna take, but I did find them, and I found some more lettuces that were from the 1800s. So I'm kind of excited about that. Bring some of these old lettuces back and get them in my garden too. This is going to be a fun year. The greenhouse is going to be changed a little bit. It's going to grow, like I said, the cherry tomatoes, 1 large tomato. I'm going to throw some cucumbers in there and some peppers. So the greenhouse is going to be set up a little different. I have to go get some more strawberries because I was a bad girl and I got sidetracked with my husband's shift change, and from August, September, and October I was really struggling trying to get outside and doing what I was supposed to do, and my strawberries all died. So I don't have any starts off my strawberries. They were doing real good, and then I got really bad sidetracked and just couldn't get out there in the garden. So I will have to start my strawberries over again. No big deal. It is what it is. So I will start my strawberries over again, and I think I want to say, I have to look at my videos. I think the first strawberry that I had that was ripe was in March. I want to say maybe the 15th of March was my video when my husband snuck the strawberries. So the bare root strawberries should be coming out any time now. Usually, I believe by the end of January, first part of February, they're out. So they might be out. I am going to go to the feed store where I bought them last year tomorrow and pick up some more grit. Because I have a 40% off coupon, and that's when I get my grit. And I'm going to go get my grit tomorrow. Go check. If the strawberries are out there, I will do the exact same thing that I did last year with my strawberries. I will dump the old dead ones, use my hanging baskets, but instead of putting plastic bags in and paper, I'm going to use weed block. I have some really good weed fabric that I have a bunch of that left, and so what's going to happen is instead of the moisture staying in with the plastic, it's going to drain out. So I will have to water them a little bit more, but I'm thinking about putting them on a drip system and on a timer, so they will be watered the same time every day. Won't have to really worry about how much water, if they get overwatered one day or not because of the rain or the sun, because the water will be able to drain out of them. The only difference is just instead of going and just checking to make sure that they're dry before I water them, they're going to get on their own timer. So that's going to be a new challenge for me to see how much I'll have to timer them, or it'll just be, I'll just go out, turn on a 10-minute timer, let them be watered that way instead of watering them by hand, and just go out and do it that way. Oh, my pots! The pots that are out there that I planted in October, they're already springing up. I'll show you a picture of what they look like at the end of this video. I'll show you a picture because I took one last week before I was really super sick when I was cutting down the tree. Actually, it's almost been 2 weeks ago Monday that I cut the tree down. So I took a picture. I believe, I was thinking those were the irises that were coming up. I think they're the baby, oh, what are they called? Tita teats? paper whites. I think they're the paper whites that are coming up. They haven't got no buds on them yet, but they're just the green. But I think they're paper whites because I forgot that I had planted one pot full of paper whites, and that's the one pot that's really tall with them. I might have put some paper whites in 2 of them, but one has masses of them in there. So, and what else? The crocus is just starting to break through the pots, and I think that's it. I think it's the paper whites, the crocuses, and can't think if there's anything else breaking through. I don't remember now, but it's in the picture. So anyhow, what else is coming up? Nothing else that I can think of other than, oh, next week I'm starting my, I'm going to start some onions, I'm going to start some lettuces, and my cabbage. I'm going to start some cabbage, and then that'll be the end of January. That's when I'm starting all them. And then the 3rd week of February, around between the 15th and the 20th, that's when I start all my tomatoes and get them on heat mats. Hopefully I will have a nice day out there to get my shed cleared out, because my pot, or my shed that has all my heat mats and my lights and everything, is just stuffed full of all sorts of different yard stuff that needs to be sorted. So hopefully I'll have enough time to get that done. Otherwise my sewing room is going to be full of plants, and that has not been the first time that's been full of plants. Have a great day. I'm rambling on, but have a great day, and thank you guys for subscribing and watching, and my channel's growing bit by bit. I'm excited. I'm up, I'm surprised. I really am surprised that I'm getting as many people watching from all over the place. So thanks again. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the thumbs up and the comments. I appreciate all the comments, and have an awesome day, and hopefully these little guys will sprout here in the next few months, and I'll have tree collards. Yay! Bye-bye.